Hello, everybody. This is Debo with Debo's Movie Reviews here, and today's review will be DR.NO, starring, of course, Sean Connery in his very first outing and the very first canon James Bond movie. Because yeah, there was Casino Royale with, damn, I want to say Barry Allen, but that's the Flash. Well, that's for another review. Well, overall, I'm going to just say the first Bond movie, because and of course one of the best ones too. But hey, Connery always knocked it out. They always consider Connery the quintessential 007. I mean, God, damn, he was perfect. Dang, everybody in DR.NO was probably good at their jobs, from like the, the soon-to-be recurring thing at the time with Bernard Lee, who played the role from as of of M till DR.NO till Moonraker, given his death to when he died, and then Lois Maxwell until View to a Kill. But Peter Burton played Q in this one, and wasn't called Q, just Major Boothroyd, until Russia Love was when Desmond Llewellyn took that mantle, and of course just brought made himself a household name with that one. And then you got in his only outing as Felix Leiter, Jack Lord. You'd almost say, had this movie been like made like the late '60s, you'd almost say it was like the that moment when 007 and Steve McGarrett teamed up. And pretty much the second best thing Jack Lord was known for, along with John Kitzmiller as Quarrel, who in the movie timeline only appeared in this movie after getting killed by the so-called dragon. If you know, you know. Then Ursula Andress as the attractive Honey Rider. And of course, Joseph Wiseman as the titular Dr. No. Just basically just set the standard for spy movie villains before Blofeld did. Because Dr. No was a Dr. Evil in Austin Powers is a take on him, though mostly based on Blofeld. And one of the key differences from the novel and the book was in the novel, Felix Leiter wasn't in, and neither was Spectre. And Quarrel, novel in the novel was only appeared in two novels, Live and Let Die and Doctor No. Same with Strangways, who his death and disappearance was what this thing that brings Bond to Jamaica after not reporting, and after his secretary who gets killed after trying to punch in middle of a report by the so-called free blind mice. Because every time I hear that old song now, you know, ever since I first seen this movie, I always think of those Spectre hitmen. who posed as free blind mice. And of course, gotta give it to, I mean, a lot of great action for a Bond movie. I mean, just hell, Bond pretty much set the standard for modern action movies way back in '62. I mean, from like and I should also mention this is also the first out of two appearances of Eunice Gayson as Sylvia Trench. It was like Bond's girl on the side back home while he went around cavorting with every other with random girl, almost every other woman he met in abroad. I mean, kind of like how he seduced Spectre Agent Miss Taro, along with Honey Rider, of course. Surprised he didn't take one on that so-called reporter for the Daily Gleaner, or I say photographer, from like the beginning. And you had, of course, the whole deal with Leiter, Quarrel, who being CIA and all, and then and a guy named Pushpa, I mean, who wrestles alligators. And I gotta give it to old Joseph Wiseman playing his iconic villain, and the first line going $1 million. Hell, you can almost say with that you get on, and then there's like the whole thing where the whole one kind of difference in another difference in the novel was was like the cover story of how it was like the Crab Key thing being a guano mine, whereas just a private random fortress or something. I mean, just practically one of the best looking villain lairs I ever seen in a movie. Yeah, it kind of always makes you want to watch when it comes to like your Batman or a Bond movie. Makes you wonder how much construction has ever been worked into a Bat cave, or in the case of these Bond movies, villain lairs. Like, do like do they kill the construction crews after they're done, or do their own construction? And back to the movie, I'm gonna like a lot of epic car scenes with that. First with that chase with Mr. Jones, the fake guy who claimed to have been a driver, but while 57 for some reason, kind of like, which is surprisingly because given 62, it'd been like something, yeah, more inconspicuous. Whereas yeah, that one with that other Chevrolet that was Lighter's Quarrel and Lighter were driving, and then you had the whole thing with the guys in the Sunbeam, guys in that hearse and Bond Sunbeam Alpine. I mean, good, like they really set up for that narrow chase. We're going around that narrow construction vehicle with that couldn't get that far with 57. If that was quickly discarded right after Jones ate that cyanide cigarette. And then, of course, he got Anthony Dawson as Professor Dent. who happens who turned out to be this Blofeld when Dr. No's underling. That led to the death and disappearance of Stringways. And then, of course, you got the whole kind of surprising that they started with Dr. No, but hey, with the thing about missile toppling around 1962, you can almost say this movie was almost like basically an allegory of the Cuban crisis. Though, of course, Dr. No was not a communist or capitalist. He was just because Spectre in Bond universe is a secret society that played both sides to their advantage. I mean, I mean, proof of that was just From Russia with Love, which of course was, which of course the book was President Kennedy's favorite novel. But overall, though, at least with Blofeld, I don't know why I keep saying Blofeld, but I meant Dr. No's case of Mistletoe was trying to derail a space program in his like nuclear lab after going to Spectre after screwing over the governments and the Chinese mafia, aka triads or tongs is what they call them. But overall, I gotta give Dr. No a definite 5 out of 5, just from the intro, the, the infamous Mighty Norman orchestra theme music that every Bond fan knows and loves, and those influence just epic ending, and even got some odd cuts. Scene that was cut was a whole there was a whole beat like a scrap death scene with crabs or something, but they moved too slow to do it. But that was scrapped, and then you had, and I'm so kind of surprised that Jack Lord did not reprise his role with in the other Connery Bond movies, because the kind of a billing thing, kind of because yeah, he became his own got his own fame after that, and later on became McGarrett, and then you got the Ursula Andress, who was actually dubbed in the whole movie. You never hear her real voice, and of course you got the whole back to Lara Crab Key, and it makes you want to be as skeptical as Bond was about the dragon, when it was really just a tank, just an armored vehicle with a flamethrower attached. From like one scene which gets mentioned with Leiter passing off as superstition, when he right before the day gleaner photographer catches him, and then in that nightclub scene. But overall, Dr. No was a definite 5 out of 5. All right, y'all. Hope y'all liked my review. Enjoyed the movies like you enjoyed my review, and I keep dishing them out.